Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Kingdom Wealth Creators. For a start, I just want to say that I'm very grateful and appreciative of everybody who's watching, everybody who's subscribed, and I encourage you to share this to as many people as you can to watch these videos and learn from them. This is something that I thought I'd start new. I really want to do an Outlook video. I've been doing this as part of my overall weekly videos, but an Outlook video just for the month or the week, and I hope this helps people to realize what's the situation overall for the month and probably each week as well. Okay, so let's look at December. We have had amazing rallies in October and November, right? Amazing rallies. September saw a huge decline of 8%, and then amazing 2 months of rallies. So what's the situation for December? To start off, you should know that in the last week of November and overall November, the foreign institutional investors have been buying huge into the Indian stock market. Huge. There have been days when they bought 5,000, 4,000 crores of stocks every day. So it's been a big. The rally has been simply because a lot of this is buying from outside, and this has to do with liquidity overall, and this has to do with something called the dollar index. So let me just show you what the dollar index is. Now, this is trading view, by the way, and on this, there's something called the DXY, which you can add to your watch list, the US dollar currency index. Now, what this is basically showing the relative strength of the US dollar versus a basket of six other currencies. Okay, and most of these currencies are currencies that trade actively with the US dollar. And now, what you can see from here and understand is that the overall strength of the US dollar is weakening. 91 is at 91. The DXY is at 91. And usually, if the dollar index is, let me zoom this in. If the dollar index is below 93, it is good for the Indian market. You can see from look at this, from November, it has been below that price, and that has really fueled a lot of this rally simply because, well, you can see from here, this is November 1st. It's been dipping below 93 since November 5th. And a lot of that liquidity that's been flowing into the Indian market is simply because whenever the dollar index is below 93 and it starts dipping below, that means it's good for the Indian market because foreign investors tend to start investing into the Indian market rather than the US market. Okay. And so this has been one reason why the market has rallied so much. Okay. And as long as this is below 93, I think it's good. Second, we have something called the volatility index for India. Now, what you can see here is that there was a bit of a spike in between, and that caused it to go again about 25. But right now, the index is below 20. As long as the index is somewhere in this below 22-ish range, okay, 22, we are good. We're safe. Okay, it is more bullish. The market looks more bullish than the overall bearish trend. So that is the good news so far. DXY, the dollar index is low. The volatility for the Indian market is low. What are the possible struggles that we have? Well, if you look at the Nifty, and now I'm going to the daily chart for the Nifty. If you look at the daily chart for the Nifty, it is looking kind of overbought. Okay, you can see that the stochastic doesn't look great. The MACD doesn't look great. So it is looking a bit overbought. Okay, and similarly, by the Bank Nifty has gone up so much. And again, it looks kind of overbought. Now, overbought doesn't mean that it's going to fall. What it means for me is that it's most likely to consolidate. Where is it going to consolidate? I think if you look at the, let me reset this. Look at this. It has gone to a high of about 13,150. And there's been a couple of, if I bring this down, okay, a couple of bottoms around 12,800. So if you look at this, this is probably a range it has to consolidate first. So I think in December, we will see a lot of sideways movement and consolidation overall for the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. Now, December is a 5-week series, and the thing with the December rollover for the futures and options side was that there was a long positioning of almost 77% for foreign investors, meaning the foreign investors have bought futures and or options on the long side, and out of the total portfolio, about 77% is long in long positions. What normally happens is that if the long positions are so huge, if the percentage is so high, there can be correction. For example, in October, I think the ratio of long positions was really low, and then the market just zoomed because September the crashed. When it rolled over into October, not a lot of long positions, and the market just rallied. Then there was a lot of short covering. Now there's a lot of long positions. So I think there's going to be consolidation, definitely. I don't think unless it can break out above 13,150, and I've seen even though every indication looked nice, it has struggled to cross that level. And similarly on the bank nifty, kind of overbought. So we might not see a huge fall because of the dollar currency index as well as our volatility index. We might not see a huge fall, but I'm not sure if we will, unless we break these levels. I don't see a lot of quick upside. And because it's a 5-week series, normally whenever the futures and options has a 5-week series, there's not a lot of there's a lot of volatility. It goes back and forth, and there's not a lot of up movements. Okay, that's the historical trend. December has been mostly a non-volatile month overall, which means that the movement is not going to be on the upside or the downside. Is historically for December not been huge. It's more of a consolidation, especially because November tends to be when Deepavali comes in and the new year rolls out for the business world, and there's a huge rally usually sometimes in November, and then December tends to be a cool off consolidation. This time it's a 5-week series. Uh, Historically consolidation month. So, and then the indicators for me generally, FIIs are buying a lot, the dollar index value is low, the volatility index is low, but at the same time we have huge resistance, a bit of overbought positions in the Indian market. So my general thought is that there's going to be consolidation. There's going to be a lot of volatility within this range, but it's overall going to be a consolidation somewhere between 13,200 on the upside and somewhere around 12,700 on the downside. Now, don't take my word for it that this is exactly what's going to happen, but this looks like what's going to happen. There can be a breakout either way, up or down. Global news, some news comes out. It can happen. I'm not saying it can't, but this is probably where we're going to be stuck for this month. Also, something else that you got to note. For us in India, our annual financial closing is in March, April, right? When we move to March, April. But for companies in Singapore or US, it tends to be December, January. So there's a lot of companies that are going to, or especially hedge funds and a lot of investment management, or foreign investors basically, who have to close their positions. There's a lot of foreign investors, especially in the US, who probably would have to close their positions at the end of the year which is December. So that might again see a lot of closing down of long positions, a bit of correction and all of that. So I just want everybody to be careful, not go overboard with your euphoria to buy stocks. Just be careful on what you buy. Fundamentally strong stocks on the downside. I can give you an example. I saw HTFC that had come down quite a bit, and I entered. It had seen a high of 2380. It saw a low of 2180 or so, and I entered at a good price. That's because fundamentally strong stock. It has retraced a bit and I was bouncing back probably. And so if things hold good, that's a good stock. Another one that I looked at is DUBA. DUBA was on a downtrend. It looks like it's coming back up. So I've entered, taken a position there. So things like that. Excite is one that I've entered based on a breakout. You can see that this breakout is on the look at the weekly chart. You can see that this was a breakout. So I entered on the breakout. So things like that. Okay, those are things you look at price actions and you look at fundamentals to see what are probably good value stocks to enter, which are fundamentally strong on the bounce back up, rather than simply go buy. So December going to be a bit of a hard month in terms of it's going to be range bound mostly, unless there's a breakout on the upside or the downside, somewhere between 13,150 on the upside, or 13,200 on the upside, and 12,700, 600 on the downside. That range we're going to be around there. But there's going to be probably a little bit of volatility in intraday, meaning there can be prices going down on one day, prices going up the next day, but mostly probably in this range. And so that's what my outlook is for December. I hope you have a great month. God bless you.